Are you a factory medical officer, an HR head, or a doctor preparing for your AFIH exams? The landscape of industrial health in India has just undergone a massive transformation. On May 8, 2026, the central government officially notified the final Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Central Rules 2026. From new ambulance room thresholds to mandatory AFIH qualifications and sweeping changes in welfare facilities, the old rules are out and the new era is here. Today I am breaking down everything you need to know. Let us dive in. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Deepak Sindhania, an occupational health physician and your guide to all things industrial medicine. For decades, we have operated under a fragmented system of multiple labor laws. But with the notification of the final central rules under the 4 labor codes, including the OSH rules 2026, the government has streamlined workplace safety, health, and welfare into one robust framework. These rules are immediately applicable to establishments where the central government is the appropriate government. Think railways, mines, major ports, banking, telecommunications, and central public sector undertakings. However, they also set the gold standard that state rules will inevitably follow. In this video, I will walk you through the major provisions in simple language. We will look at practical workplace examples, specific rule numbers, and stick around until the end because I will be giving you a rapid-fire AFIH exam high-yield review. Let us start with what matters most to us medical professionals, the health of the workers. Under Rule 5, the government has mandated that every employer in dock work, building, or other construction work must arrange a free annual medical examination for every employee who has completed 40 years of age. As a practical example, if you run a major construction site, any worker blowing out 40 candles on their birthday cake automatically qualifies for this yearly checkup, completely free of cost. Employers can even utilize the employee's state insurance corporation facilities to get this done. Note that for mines, the rules are slightly more rigorous and are governed under Rule 109, which mandates initial and periodical medical examinations for all employees. Now, who conducts these exams? That brings us to Rule 81 and Rule 82, the appointment and duties of the medical officer. The medical officer must be a qualified medical practitioner registered under the National Medical Commission Act. But here is the critical part for my AFIH colleagues. The medical officer must be trained in an occupational health course, which includes the ILO classification of chest radiographs. You will be responsible for assessing fitness, conducting health surveys for notifiable diseases, and certifying workers in hazardous processes. If you are aiming for a career in industrial medicine, the 2026 rules have solidified the necessity of specialized occupational health training. Next up is welfare facilities. The 2026 rules clearly define the thresholds for when an employer must provide specific amenities. First, canteens under Rule 53. If your establishment, be it a factory, mine, or construction site, ordinarily employs 100 or more workers, including contract laborers, you must provide and maintain a canteen that serves nutritious and hygienic food. Second, first aid under Rule 54. First aid boxes must be readily accessible. But it is not just about having a box, it is about having the right people. The rule mandates that at least 33% of the workers in the establishment must be trained in first aid procedures and they must receive refresher training every 3 years. Also, wherever women are employed, at least one woman worker must be trained in first aid. Third, ambulance rooms under Rule 55. This is a huge one. Any establishment ordinarily employing more than 500 workers must have a suitable ambulance room or dispensary. This room must be under the charge of a full-time qualified medical practitioner assisted by paramedical staff, like a nurse and a general duty assistant. Imagine a port facility with 600 workers. Management cannot just keep a vehicle on standby, they must build a dedicated ambulance room, equipped with emergency lighting, communication devices, and specific medical equipment like AEDs and oxygen cylinders, staffed by a qualified doctor. And importantly, the appointed doctor must acquire a diploma in industrial health or the associate fellow in industrial health qualification within 1 year of appointment. Fourth, creche facility under Rule 58. For establishments with more than 50 workers, a creche facility must be provided for children under the age of 6. It must be clean, safe, and have CCTV monitoring during working hours. Now let us talk about safety governance. You cannot just fix accidents after they happen, you have to prevent them. Rule 14 introduces the safety committee. Every establishment employing 500 or more workers must constitute a safety committee with equal representation from management and workers. This committee has a tenure of 3 years and must meet at least once every quarter. However, in the case of mines, the risks are higher, so the safety committee must meet at least once a month. What about safety officers? Rule 18 lays out the exact scales based on the sector. For dock work, you need one safety officer for up to 1,000 workers. For building or other construction work, you need one safety officer for up to 500 workers. For mines governed by Rule 20, you need one safety officer if there are 100 or more workers. These safety officers are not just administrative placeholders, they are statutorily required to carry out safety inspections, investigate accidents, and organize training programs. Let us address working hours and the inclusive workforce. Under Rule 64, the standard working hours are strictly kept. No worker shall be required or allowed to work for more than 48 hours in a week. Furthermore, if overtime is required, it comes with a strict ceiling. No worker can work overtime exceeding 144 hours in any quarter of a year, and they must be paid at twice the rate of their regular wages. The rules also take a massive step forward for gender equality while ensuring safety. Rule 83 details the special provisions relating to the employment of women. Women are permitted to work during night shifts, meaning before 6 a.m. and beyond 7 p.m., but only if strict conditions are met. As a practical example, if a central public sector undertaking runs a 24/7 manufacturing unit, they can employ women on the night shift. But they must first obtain the woman's written consent. They must provide safe transportation, picking her up and dropping her off at her residence. The workplace, including washrooms and transit paths, must be well lit and monitored by CCTV. Finally, in underground mines, if women are deployed, there must be a minimum of 3 women employees on duty at any given place. Alright, to my fellow doctors preparing for the Associate Fellow of Industrial Health exam, grab your notebooks. Here is your rapid-fire, high-yield summary of the OSH Central Rules 2026. If you get a multiple-choice question on these, you should answer them in your sleep. Point 1. Free annual health examinations apply to workers who are 40 years of age and above under Rule 5. Point 2. Canteens are mandatory when an establishment employs 100 or more workers under Rule 53. Point 3. For first aid, 33% of the workforce must be trained in first aid procedures under Rule 54. Point 4. An ambulance room is mandatory when there are more than 500 workers under Rule 55. And remember, the appointed medical practitioner must acquire the AFIH qualification within 1 year of appointment. Point 5. A creche facility is required if the establishment has more than 50 workers under Rule 58. Point 6. The absolute cap on overtime is 144 hours per quarter. Point 7. If a dangerous occurrence or bodily injury disables a worker for 48 hours or more, the employer must report it within 12 hours after those 48 hours have passed under Rule 7. Keep these numbers memorized. They are the backbone of your statutory compliance knowledge. The OSH Central Rules 2026 signify a monumental shift from reactive oversight to proactive real-time enforcement. By standardizing safety protocols, increasing medical surveillance, and placing a heavy emphasis on digital compliance, India is aligning its workforce safety with international standards. As medical professionals, safety officers, and employers, it is our duty not just to comply with these rules, but to embrace the culture of safety they represent. A healthy worker is a productive worker. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button, share this with your colleagues and study groups. And do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you never miss an update on industrial health and medicine. If you have any questions about specific rules, or if you want a dedicated video on the medical standards for mines under Rule 109, drop a comment below. Until next time, this is Dr. Deepak Sindhania, wishing you a safe and healthy workday. Take care.